I'm Haley Durant, and this week on Appropriate Audiences, we'll be talking about Luc Besson's newest film, The Family, starring Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer. The film centers around the Manzoni family, a notorious mafia clan who is ultimately relocated to Normandy, France under the Witness Protection Program, where fitting in becomes challenging as their old habits prove too hard to die. I would like to thank my guests James Rona and Melissa Weisinger for being here tonight. So, let's just jump right in.
Now that that's over.
Let's just, dive in.
Okay.
General thoughts. Personally, it could have been the worst film ever, but it's De Niro, so I wouldn't have cared. Come on.
I agree.
Same.
I agree. De Niro can do anything, and I'll still think that he's incredible. And I thought overall, it was a pretty good movie. It's not exactly my particular genre, as you know. We saw Pitch Perfect. But yeah, like I said, very good movie. It shocked me that it was actually that good, and I liked it.
I agree, definitely. I thought it was a great movie. I just felt that the end was a little rushed. It kind of became, all right, we have 5 minutes left, finish the movie, let's go. Very predictable towards the end. Otherwise, like you said before, it was a great movie. It had Robert De Niro in it. What else can you say?
It's a shame the ending was so rushed,
right.
Because it had been so good up until that point. And I guess I'm not too surprised. I did look at its score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it got
what did it get?
like a 33.
Oh, wow.
Gosh, that's terrible.
But I have stopped trusting Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow, okay.
I can't remember the site that I normally go on now, because Rotten Tomatoes, it hates everything, so I've moved away from that. But I think the film definitely was awesome. I don't know why it got a 33. Luc Besson is really, really good with action films, and obviously we could see that. Moving on from Robert De Niro.
Okay.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Incredible.
Always.
She's great.
It makes you forget about Catwoman, even though she was awesome as Catwoman, but
Makes you forget.
it just makes you forget
It's like
those
Ben
films.
Affleck it's really like Ben Affleck with Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But what I thought was interesting were the kids in the film. And I have to ask you.
Oh, gosh.
Big Glee
Diana
fan.
Agron. Okay, so in this movie, I think that she was Quinn if Quinn was given a gun. That's basically what I can see from Diana Agron. She's incredible, but she was very much so typecasted in this role.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the boy, I don't know his name.
I don't know his
off
name
the top of my head, but
Yeah, I just found out yesterday that he is going to high school where I just graduated from.
that's awesome.
I know.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
but he was really good. So I thought I really liked him.
I have to agree. I think they both did fantastic. I was very surprised. It was Diana her name?
Yeah, Diana.
Okay, Diana comes off very gentle and loves her family, and you see her with her fake boyfriend.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden she has a tennis racket and she's beating them up. It's where did that come from?
And she always plays a character that loses her virginity and it doesn't work out. She either gets pregnant or the guy's a jerk, and it's terrible. Poor Diana. Because this is her life. This is a real true story of her life.
Obviously. It's clearly autobiographical. I do love the whole family dynamic that they are all sort of involved in mob activity.
Yeah.
Activia.
I
This is
guess
not a
that's
yogurt film. Activity. Because I would obviously expect it from Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer's characters, but the fact that the kids kind of also are, yeah, whatever.
Yep.
We're part of the mob.
I loved when Michelle Pfeiffer blew up the grocery
Yes!
store.
Yes, that was
She
a
just
great...
was okay, let's just get this done real quick.
Well, I saw that in one of the trailers and I was definitely watching this movie.
Yep.
Oh, that was so good. If I blew up a grocery store, that's how I'd walk out too. I'd just be
Whatever. I didn't do
whatever.
it.
It just happened.
So even though this film is an action and crime drama, how do you think that he handled also? It's kind of a comedy.
Yeah,
how do you
I was
think
about to say.
the director handled that mixture of the two genres?
I think that Robert De Niro had a very comedic feel to him at times. How they used the word fuck to define a bunch of different
great.
things, and at the end when they all got after the whole climax of the movie, they all just said fuck at the end, and it was just funny. It gave it a little bit of a comedic release to it. I think that he handled it really well.
I loved the whole part about the plumbing and the water is brown, and then you see him coming out of the truck and it's well, is that another dead body or is that the real plumber guy? Like, you're not really sure. Yeah, it was pretty funny with him.
Do you think the movie would have been as good or as strong if there weren't any comedic elements?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that it was a perfect mix of the two, and I think that it helped a lot because, yes, it was so action and crime oriented, but that also stemmed from the comedic aspects. Like he beat up the plumber because he tried to screw him over with the pricing and tried to make him fix the things. And then when he tried to describe it, he was like, "Well, he tried to make me pay for something that I didn't need to pay for. What do you want me to do?" It was very funny. And then that whole scene, actually, just to remember it now, is like she's yelling at him, and then he's like, "So what happened to the grocery store?" That blew up the day we got here. So very, very good use of comedy in this movie.
Another part I'd have to say, too, is when the son decides he wants to run away and leave the family, he opens his drawer and he already has a passport made. Like, you kind of expect him to be a little sneaky with the whole mob family, but to just have it pre-made, like, where did that come from?
Yep, and he knew where all the money was hidden and everything.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
I mean, I'm curious what you guys thought about the plot in general, because when I was watching the film, all I thought about was Mary-Kate and Ashley and their film Our Lips Are Sealed, which is basically the same beginning plot, which is these two girls, you know, are snitching on this mob and they have to be relocated constantly because they keep giving themselves up, and then they're ultimately relocated in like Australia. So it's very similar beginnings, and
But it's obviously
one is a lighthearted like
Yeah.
dream movie, and this
Kill
one
anyone.
But I mean, I was just curious because like the obviously same plot but two very different movies. Like, what did you think about the plot?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, at some points I was like a little bit. I don't want to make myself sound stupid, but in the beginning I was a little bit confused because they sort of just jumped into these witness protection people like introducing themselves, and I was like, wait, who are you? And then I had to like kind of get a feel like, okay, he's the guy who's watching out for the family. So they could have made it a little bit more like slow as opposed to like him knocking on the door, and I think that's the first time he's even introduced in the movie. But I mean, I liked the plot a lot. I thought that it was really good, and I liked the book writing aspect of it. I thought that was something really interesting that I don't know was in the Mary-Kate and Ashley version. I doubt it.
It definitely helped move the story along the way he was writing.
Yeah.
And then at the end again, he's like, oh, now I have to start over.
Yep.
That seems to be a very common theme now with movies, where there is some sort of other form of narration. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the third Iron Man. Okay, well.
No. Oh my God, I don't like superhero movies.
No, that was just a moment of silence. I was mourning for all of the Iron Man fans. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, anyways. He's telling the story to Bruce Banner. I mean, basically. Okay. But it just seems popular now in films where there is someone telling the story in,
inside of the story.
Right. And like, how do you feel about that?
Personally, I liked it. It helped it move along, and you got to, with the flashbacks, you see his family or when they were back in New York and the old hairstyles. It was like, okay, this is where this family's coming from, or like this is what they've been through in the past. I really like that, or especially with they travel. I love traveling, so hearing, okay, we used to be in this country and now we're in this country, like, you know how far of a distance they've come and how they have to start over again. You got to actually feel it.
I liked it. I thought that it gave the character a whole new dimension to him, and I think that it served as that purpose as well, not only to use that popular form of narration, but to add another element to the De Niro character, which I thought was really good. And he was even saying, like, you could sense the like trouble, like in certain scenes where he was writing and then he couldn't, like, he got so into it, so it told the troubled past, and it made it really come through. As opposed, did it a lot better than like flashbacks would have.
I mean, I definitely agree. I think it's really silly when people, because it's said that form of narration, whether it's told like through, someone's talking to someone or if they're writing it down, some critics find that weak, like a weak form of storytelling, but I totally disagree with them. I think it always makes the story more interesting or stronger. I mean, now I have to ask, guys, would you tell a friend to go see this in the theater, wait till Netflix, or not see it at all?
You want to handle this first?
Yeah,
this is a tough choice.
I definitely think whether you go to the movies or Netflix or anywhere, you should see the movie. But I don't know if I would necessarily say this is a movie to be like, hey, let's go on a Friday, Saturday, like let's all go together. I would wait. Okay. But again, I want to see it right away because it was Robert De Niro.
I think I would wait too. I think that it's good in the aspect that you know that you didn't pay for it. Like, like, okay, that was good. I'm glad that I didn't spend $12.50 on it. You know. I think that, I mean, there there were a lot of things with the plot and stuff that kind of made you like get a little bit disinterested at times. But I mean, it was an overall really good movie. I'm just saying because from my own personal experience, there were times where I was checking like the time and I was like, okay, like how much longer? But it did have moments where it picked up. But I don't think that anything where I check the time is worth going to see it in theaters. That's just me.
I mean, I definitely agree.
Netflix?
Netflix,
All
definitely. I mean, it was a really good film, but definitely just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait. Well, that's our show for tonight. I'd like to thank James and Melissa one more time for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.